the world you think you see is not real. And this is important because it can completely transform your experience of life. So follow me on this. The first point is you don't really see reality as it is. You see how you are, how depending on your memories, depending on what is the part of you that you are accessing in that given moment. So for example, you will see the picture of a dog. And when you see the picture of a dog, the first thing that happens is that the information that gets into your eye is not the information of a dog. That's something your brain constructs afterward. And your brain always needs time for that. So your brain, let's say your eye will get some kind of information and your brain transforms that into colors and shapes. You get to understand this. I have videos on this. And you're certainly going to find a lot of science of perception telling you how you are actually not really seeing the thing. You are actually, what you're reacting to is your brain's interpretation of what you're seeing. This is crucial. This is very important. This happens in milliseconds. So it seems that you're there, but you're not there actually. You're seeing and perceiving in a world that when you react to it, you say, oh, a dog. It already happened. A few milliseconds before, around half a second before. But that's crucial. Why? Because then you start understanding you are processing the world. So basically what your brain does, it doesn't have, imagine that a computer is not so powerful to see things in real time. What it does, it predicts. So it picks up information from your brain, from your past memories and say, okay, that's probably a dog. And that's probably a dog from this race. And you may even have a memory you associate with this kind of dog. You had one, you saw one bite you, and you have an emotional reaction to it. But actually, you are reacting from your memory. You're never really seeing things as they are. You are living a hallucination of your own memory. And what is this dangerous? Well, you see in fanaticism, when people commit terrorist attacks, when people do these absurdities, when people have very different opinions about so many different things, you clearly see each person is having a completely different experience of something. So the question here, what is this something, right? How do we get closer to what is real? Well, we're talking, and this video is not just supposed to be informative like a commentary. This is supposed to have actually an impact in your life. For that to happen, you don't have to consider this as information. You have to start seeing right now the screen, this guy that is talking to you, not as a guy talking to you out there outside, but understanding that your brain is just getting this kind of 1 and 0 information through your eye, and your brain is constructing the image of this guy. And your eardrums are getting this air pressure, and your brain is translating that into words. That's how you may understand language if you have trained yourself to do so, but you may not. But in any case, you're just interpreting. Why is this so important? Because here's the main idea that many people are going to throw at you, and I'm going to do it, and it's very different from what many people approaching this topic will say. And the idea is the peace you're looking for is beyond this filtering you're putting, this filtering of memories you are putting to the things that are happening as they happen. So you need to have less brain processing to let go of yourself as your identity, as your memory, as your past, as your conditioning, and get closer to what is happening. That is what meditation is. You're just getting closer to what is real in this moment. And that, my friend, what you're going for, you're going to notice that the more you deconstruct your reactions to things, the more you see things clearly as they are. And you know how that feels? Peace. And I'm saying this because in the process of zooming into that, you're going to go through all your conditioning and your memories and your learning and your traumas and everything. You need to really get out of yourself to do this. So yes, apparently for most people, you go through a stage where you're insecure. You're not sure that what you're doing is really working. That's exactly what I'm here to tell you. Keep on, my friend. Keep on trying. Keep on going for it. Keep on trying to be exact on the spot of this moment all the time, perceiving beyond your own mental conditioning beyond your hallucinations of memory of what happened to you in the past and what you think things are. Go beyond your thinking. The commentary in your head happens way, way, way later than the thing actually happened. Get closer to the thing moment by moment. As I'm talking in this video, you don't need to think about what I'm talking to you. Just need to really get closer, not even understand the words that I'm saying. Just hear a guy doing that. It's not going to prevent you from actually functioning properly and understanding maybe the words and having an opinion on it even. But you're going to start noticing that your world calms down and your perception, your experience of the world start being more stable because you're not reacting to your own processing. You're actually reacting to something that is more fundamental to reality. So the more you do this process of getting rid of all this conditioning, the more you're going to see the raw reality, the unfiltered reality. And that's going to start stabilizing and living in your world. It's not going to be so. All the negative emotion states are actually a strong resistance, are based on your conditioning. So when you get to the flow directly, it's actually more, maybe at first psychedelic in the sense that you cannot make sense of what's happening. Is everything is like stone people have a little bit of brief of a very conditioned. I'm not suggesting anyone to try to figure out this by taking any kind of chemistry, although some people report they do a lot of improvement with that. I'm not going to say that. But nevertheless, let's assume it. When people go on the weekend and they drink, for some reason they relax. The chemistry, for some reason, help their nervous system relax. And then they are able to have more fun, to live more on this moment beyond their own personal drama. That's all this chemistry is doing. So you don't need that chemistry at all. What you really need is to see things clearly. And that will bring about all this fun, all this peace, all this resting, all finding, yes, I'm alive, and that being enough. No matter how is your life, it just doesn't matter. Ultimately, you're just immersed in something that Matrix is even a fake compared to the amusing detail of the reality you're living right now. We don't see it because you're thinking all the time. So meditation is the art to go back to the object and make a process of this. So not just as a speculative, interesting science information, but actually to live it. You can live it. That's the practice of meditation. Sit and let go of your filtering, of your thoughts, of your conditioning, and go back to the object. This has been practiced for thousands of years, probably even more than that in the sense as long as humanity has been there has been people who figured this out and tell all the people. And we are here in the position in a day where you are watching this video and I'm passing on to you this information that you can actually perceive reality. Not as a person, not the person who think you are, but actually, I'm going to leave that mystery up to you. But what I'm saying, you can decondition yourself to the point beyond what you think is even possible or what you think, imagine that you're seeing. And I have one last thing to say. And the reason why many people get stuck in this process is because you cannot see this unfiltered world while you keep the filtering. Does it make sense? Of course, if you're filtering the world, you're not seeing the unfiltered world. Does it make sense? Why is this important? Because in order to be able to live reality, to remember it some way, because it has always been there, it's not something you create, it's not something you achieve, it's just something you just uncover. In order to do that, you really have to make a choice. And that choice is that all that you think about the world is a partial conditioned memory based on a subjective with layers of imagination. So all that you think you know, all that you think is true, you're just thinking it. It's just filtering. This moment is way more mysterious and powerful and profound than you could ever imagine. So I invite you, take a deep breath right now. And let go of your restlessness and just fine tune without delay into the reality of what's happening Maybe it's just subtle sensations, small things that your brain thinks is boring. Pay attention to everything. By doing that, you get closer and closer and closer to what's actually happening. Maybe instead of listening to the meaning of these words, listen to the noise, the sound that creates it. Same thing for every sensation in your body. Just go to the raw data. Don't filter it. Be open minded and choose to see reality. Your mind will keep distracting you. Just bypass that information. It's a second-hand information. You want to see the real thing. Just notice how peaceful this moment is, actually. And peaceful is just a way to describe the experience of calmness. So we're using words for it, but the experience on itself is beyond these words. It's even better. Just rest in this beautiful moment. You don't have to do anything. Just rest. Things as they are. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to impose your opinion on anything, your memory. This moment is fresh and new.